Good morning. How are you? I hope everyone's doing amazing. We're going to start off today and right into it. We're going to talk about emotions. I hope you're as excited as I am because I'm pretty excited. It is week 3, and as you should know, I am Collin Parks and I'm working at Serenity House. All right, let's get started. What did we talk about last week? Let's review. Is that fine? All right, let's review. What did we talk about? I'll give you a couple seconds to kind of get your brains going again. I think we talked about, or I know we talked about decision making. I gave everyone an easy word to remember and break down before you make a choice. Does anyone remember the first letter? Oh, I think it's up there. So here's a good hint. It is S, right? Stop. Last week we talked about decision making, and I wanted to review and get that star word out. The first letter is stop. We want to stop before we get to any decision. We want to stop right dead in our tracks so we can get to our next letter, and then that is T. Think. We want to stop and think before we make any decisions because we need to know and be aware of what's going on. All of the pros, all of the cons. That's important. If you don't know all of the information, then you are going to maybe make it a less educated guess. And we don't want that, right? So we want to think our plan. And this could be a walking stone path so you know your steps and know where to go next. Act. Stop, think, act. And we'll get to the last one. But act, we want to act out our game plan now, just like we were talking about, the walking path. We want to take our next step, and our next step is acting out our game plan. So once we make it, we need to act it out because we're not going to waste that time that we put into just thinking of a game plan. And we're going to reflect at the end. So these are all very important. Stop, think, act, and reflect. Reflect is really important, though, because at the end, you need to understand what exactly you did wrong, or if it was successful, if you made a successful decision, then you need to be able to pat yourself on the back and say, good job, you did this. We're done, right? We did something good. So reflection is important. And if you did something wrong, then you know what to do next time. So that's why it's important. It gets all the best of both worlds. And by reflecting, you're actually learning through because you're spending more time on the subject at hand. Feelings and emotions. We just got done reviewing last week, talking about decision making. So let's jump right into it. Feelings and emotions, or emotions. What are emotions? What are feelings? Feelings and emotions can go hand in hand, which means they have the same meaning. Emotions can be how you feel or react toward your environment. In an entire day, you may feel a whole array of emotions. And if you look right above me, there is a chart of emotions. And honestly, and someday, if it's a long day, then you may feel all of those emotions, right? Maybe different strengths, but that's how a day can usually go. And by going through that day, you usually get stronger, usually. What are some of those feelings you have throughout the day? If you look above me, there is a whole chart of feelings. And if it's been a long day, then you probably have felt a lot of those feelings, if not all of them. And that's fine. Happy you woke up? Maybe sad you couldn't sleep longer? Hungry? I could eat. Energetic? I hope you can tell. These are all emotions. So now that we've talked about what emotions are, but I know we all know, let's jump right into an activity. How does that sound? Good? Awesome. Let's make it happen. How do you feel about the title? Can our emotions affect our decisions? That's a big question. For all of you saying yes, you are completely right. And I have a couple of scenarios for us to consider. Let's look at our scenario. As Olivia sits down to study for a big test, she reaches for her headphones, but they are not in her desk. Her brother confesses he borrowed the headphones and lost them. Olivia gets pretty mad because this is not the first time he has borrowed something and lost it. That would annoy me, or maybe even get me a little angry. She's too angry with her brother to focus on studying. Do you think our emotions affect our decisions? If she's too angry with her brother to focus on studying, what do you think will happen? Do you think she's going to get a good grade? Think about that for a moment. What's going to happen to Olivia if she's unable to study? Some of you are saying she may get a bad grade on the test, and you're absolutely right. If you're unable to study because something came up, then you're not going to be as prepared as you would have been. What influenced her decision not to study? Her anger. That's right. Olivia's anger influenced her decisions not to study for the test. Do you think she will be disappointed with her decision come test day? She might feel unprepared. Have you ever made a bad decision because you were angry or upset? I think we all have. Our emotions can influence our decision making. Understanding what you feel will help you make better decisions. Having the words to describe how you feel and being able to express your emotions in healthy ways will help you communicate your needs. And that's very important. Let's take a closer look at words that describe our emotions. Open your workbooks to page 8 to the section titled Feelings Matrix. It's going to be the whole page of workbook 8, page 8. We will have about 4 minutes to solve our matrix. There's going to be 4 or 5, and I will explain how it works and let you work by yourselves for about 4 minutes. And then we will review together, okay? Before I just let you off, I'm going to give you some explanation. So each matrix will contain several words that describe different intensities of specific feelings. What do I mean by the intensity of a feeling? The strength of the feeling, or level, in other words. There's levels to this. That's right. An emotion can have different strengths or levels. For example, think back to a situation when you felt happy. Depending on the situation, you may have felt glad, happy, or ecstatic. Which word means the least happy? I'll give you a second to think about that. Which word means the least happy? Glad. Very good. Which word means the most happy? Ecstatic. Excellent. You're amazing. We are getting the hang of this. Glad, happy, ecstatic describe different levels of happiness. Using a straight line, I want everyone to connect the words that describe different levels of intensities of the same feeling in each matrix. Your line can be horizontal, your line can be vertical, or diagonal. You will have about 4 minutes to finish up, so let's not waste any time. Which words did you connect in Matrix 2? Was it blue, sad, and heartbroken? If it was, excellent. Which emotions do these feelings describe? I'll give you a couple seconds to think about that. I would say sadness. Which feeling means the least sad? I would go with blue. Which feeling is the most sad? I would go with heartbroken. Heartbroken is definitely the most sad of those description words. Exactly. I think we're getting the hang of this. What about Matrix 3? I'll give you a few seconds to say what words we connected with our line. Was it startled, scared, and terrified? Because that's what I have down. Which emotion do these feelings describe? Fear. Which of the three feelings mean the least scared? I'd go with startled. Which feeling means the most scared? I'd probably go with terrified. Y'all are doing amazing. I hope you're keeping up with me. How about Matrix 4? This one is interesting. Was it annoyed, angry, and furious that you have written down? It should be. Which emotion do these describe? I think I'd go with anger. Is annoyed the same level as furious? I would go with no. Which of the feelings is more intense? I think I'd go with furious. There are different words to describe the different intensities of each emotion, so you are better able to identify and communicate what you are feeling. And it's very important. By having more knowledge will get you farther along with communication with others. Your emotions can grow stronger and stronger as the events around you change. When you express an emotion, your brain sends signals to your body to prepare you for whatever is causing that emotion. For example, what physical signals do you feel when you are scared? What physical signals do you feel when you're scared? Maybe a racing heart, sweaty palms, butterflies in the stomach? Your body works with your brain to help you to respond to whatever is scaring you. Look on the next page in your workbook to the section titled Messenger. After we read each scenario together, I want you to write down the emotion and the body signals you would feel in that situation. I will put 2 minutes on the board for you to write your answers down in your workbook. I'll give the class some time to discuss the answers. Since I'm not there in person, if our teacher would help the discussion, it would be very influential for our class. Thank you in advance. So, now that we are at Messenger, I want you to look at the first scenario. You're playing in the championship basketball game. Your team is down by 1 point with only 10 seconds left on the clock. Your teammate passes you the ball, you dribble it down the court, the defender from the other team fouls you. You get to shoot 2 free throws. If you make these 2 baskets, you could win the game for your team. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes to write which emotion do you feel in this situation and what physical body signals alert you to this situation. Go ahead and take 2 minutes. Going to number 2. You're performing in the chorus concert tonight. Before you leave for school, you put your white uniform shirt in the washing machine. When you get home from school, you go straight to the laundry room to dry it. Yikes. Your shirt is pink because your little sister put a pair of red socks in the washing machine with your shirt. Yikes is right. Which emotion do you feel in this situation? And what physical body signals alert you to this? Go ahead and take 2 minutes to write your answers down. Moving on to number 3. You've been working all weekend on your book report that is due on Monday. It is Sunday night and suddenly your computer freezes. You can't access your book report, and even worse, you cannot print it. Which emotion do you feel in this situation? And what physical body signals alert you? Go ahead and take time, and then we'll talk about all this. Excellent. These body signals help you identify what you are feeling so you can manage your emotion and respond to the situation in a healthy way. This is your cue to stop to think. Just when we talked about in decision making, you want to stop and think. So if you're starting to get flustered, if you're starting to feel those butterflies, or maybe your heart beating, any of those cues, this is your cue to stop and to think about what you are feeling so you can respond to your situation accordingly. We don't want to make the wrong decision. So make sure to know your body. Listen to your body. Listen to your head. Listen to your heart. Listen. It's very important to do so, especially so you can come up with that game plan. Moving on to our last activity. I know you are excited. I hope you enjoyed the last two. We are going to go to round up. So let's look at all the healthy ways to manage our emotions. Look at the bottom of page 11 to the section titled Round Up. These are 10 healthy strategies you can use to manage your emotions. The 10 strategies are hidden in the box. So I want you to circle the healthy strategies and cross out the unhealthy ones. I will give you about a minute to complete the activity. Just a minute. I know that seems short, but I promise you're smart and you're going to get it done. Which strategies did you circle? Think about that for a second. I hope you circled talk to an adult, because I did. Talking to an adult is very important. If you need to talk to an adult, you will probably get some trusted feelings out, and hopefully that is good for you. Usually it helps to talk out some ideas for me. Listen to music is another one. I love to listen to music. I start every day doing so. It gets me in the right mood. Count to 10. Counting to 10 can be easier said than done. Ask for help, talk to a friend, play outside, get a hug, take a deep breath, read a funny book, or even draw something with some of those artistic abilities. Excellent. Why are these healthy strategies? Take a moment to think about that. Some of you may be saying they help you stay in control of your emotions. They may even help you stay calm and avoid doing something you might regret. And we don't want to do something we might regret. Very good. If you said any of those things, and you may have something else to add, which is completely fine. Use these strategies to manage your emotions so they don't build up. Now, which strategies do we cross out? I'll go over them quickly. Hit someone. We don't want to do that. Yell at someone. We don't want to do that either. Break something. Run away, eat junk food, throw something, lock myself in my room and pout. I don't think that any of those are good. Once in a while, one of these things may come up, and you may regret it, but it's completely okay. We all make mistakes, but being aware of what we are doing and what is wrong is the best part of this. By reflecting, we know what is unhealthy, and so we don't do it again. Now, why are these unhealthy? You may be saying, you could get in trouble or hurt somebody, or even myself. And that is exactly right. These strategies can cause harm to you or someone else. And we don't want to do that. Now that we have the last activity done, let's go to the most important part. Who could you talk to about what you are feeling? Who is that for you? One of the most important healthy strategies you can use to manage your emotion is talking to someone. So who could you talk to about what you are feeling? If you feel sad, angry, or scared, talk to someone you trust and who will understand. The more you practice identifying and managing your emotions, the more automatic managing them will become. So who could you talk to? Let's go through some of these. Parents are always a great one. I love my parents, and I know that I can go to them to talk to them about anything at all. And you may not have that. And so that's why I have many options. Many options. We have friends. Friends, go to a trusted friend and talk about something that is bothering you. And that's okay to take the time to do so. It doesn't always have to be fun and games. If you have siblings, they can be amazing tools. Like I said about me, I have two older sisters, and those two older sisters are very dear to me. Caitlin and Kirsten, I can talk to them about anything, just like my parents or friends. So if you have those, it's okay. You may be an only child, and that's why there's more options. Teachers. Teachers are amazing advocates. The teacher you have in your room right now may be just as helpful as parents, friends, siblings, or anybody else. So make sure to give them that time. If they ask you what's going on, tell them. Give them some time to talk about and trust. Counselors. Counselors is another great opportunity. They will not tell anybody what you are talking about unless you are hurting someone or yourself. So counselors are, again, great advocates. And last but not least, you may have a coach in your life if you're physically active, or maybe a teacher, a band teacher, or something along the lines of, they can all be considered coaches. Coaches are very great tools. They are also there for you. So make sure you use all of the tools that you have. Parents, friends, siblings, teachers, counselors, even coaches. I will say this again. The more you practice identifying and managing your emotions, the more automatic managing them will become. You will make better decisions when you are calm and relaxed. In our next lesson, we will learn and apply effective communication. So that now that we know who we can talk to and what's most important or what we are feeling and being able to identify all of those things, we're going to move on. So thank you for taking the time today to listen and to learn with me. I'm looking forward to teaching effective communication next week, and so I hope everyone enjoys their week. Bye, everybody.